Hello, I'm back. So now I've also applied the foils to the front areas on both sides of my part, of course with the blonde and the low light. I'm now in the back section. I was only doing about 3 foils, from the crown area, the back of the crown, up. And again, as I mentioned, I never part my hair really for anyone to see this underneath here, so every so many times I highlight my hair, I just do under here. I don't really have many grays, so I don't have to worry about them popping out yet. So I've already applied 1 foil, and of course, when you're doing it yourself, the back area is much harder. So I'm strictly going by what I can see by feel when I apply the color where the foil lays in my hair. And I have a tiny little handy mirror that I can stand and actually just look in the mirror and see where I'm applying that color next. So we're going on strictly feel and looking with my own eyes. I always say, if you want to do anything well, you can. If you put your mind to it and you really concentrate and focus, you can. So we want to make these partings just as neat as the others, just because it's the back of the head. And we can't see it, but others can, so we want to make sure it looks just as nice as the partings that we've done in the front. So again, I'm going to weave my section, and see how nicely when you weave in and out, it's an in and out motion like this with the comb. Some people do circles. I do in and out like this. So let's see, and there may be a section in there that's too thick that I don't want. So now we have a nice section. Clearly, if I had to read a newspaper through this, I could. Again, some people want it a little bit thicker and chunkier. You can take a slice, or you may have a different way that you section the hair to do the foils. There's so many neat patterns to do foils with different outcomes. It's beautiful. But you have to go along. It's an art. So however that haircut is also done, you can adjust the patterns of the foils to accentuate that haircut even more. It's a very neat process. So again, we apply, pull the hair down over it, and I think I've done a pretty good job. So we'll check with our mirror. Okay. And again, going just strictly with my hands in the beginning. I'm not going to paint towards the top of the foil just yet because, again, we don't want to make any bleed marks. And I really had a lot of root back here. So now that I've got that foil to stick to my hair, which it will once you apply enough color, I don't really feel I need any lowlights in the back because my hair usually, because I do let it grow out a little more often than the rest, is already dark enough. So I will go in and I can use my mirror and I will take my brush and flip it on its edge and feather that lightener up towards the top. I'd rather not get it right to the root than get it right to the root and actually have a bleed mark in my hair. Okay, so just lightly feather the color down into the ends. If the color is too dry, the hair won't process, so I just lightly do that to blend. And that's why we use foils too. We want to block the color from touching the other hair that we don't want to be done, but we also don't want the color to dry out on the hair, because once the color dries out, it doesn't work any longer. You can actually re-wet it to reactivate it. A lot of people say that when they want their bleach to stop working on their hair, they'll spray cold water on it. But really all you had to do was just open the foil and let the color dry on the hair if you were that worried. Maybe a part of your hair is, as far as this, maybe this part would be processed, of course, before the back would, because I've already had a head start applying that lightener to the front areas, especially this one, because I've done this first. So in that case, I'd say, oh boy, what do I do? This is done, but this isn't. I have to take it off. So what you would just do is open the foil and let the air do its job. The air will dry the color on the hair. It will no longer process. Because spraying it with cold water is good, but they say cold water deactivates the lightener, but again, you're reactivating it because you're keeping it from drying out. So you're spraying the hair down, you're reactivating the lightener. Another important thing Hair, everyone's hair is different, has different porosities, and some people's hair is of course more damaged than others. So sometimes people wish their hair would go from a very dark brown, maybe a level 3, and they say, oh, I wish my hair was a platinum blonde. Well, that's almost impossible to get on your first try. It may be impossible to get altogether. We can only expect at the most on virgin hair about 4 levels of lift with this lightener. You would then have to reapply another time when the hair, you've done a couple conditioning treatments and protein treatments to re-strengthen that hair. You can go back in and reapply the lightener and start from that level and go up. So it is a process, lightening the hair. Sometimes we can't get it all at the first time. We like to, but we can't. I've seen instances where the hair has so much color deposited onto it, and especially dark color, that the customer cannot get the hair any lighter. Maybe it lightens a shade or two. So what you apply on your hair before you do these processes determines the outcome, especially when it comes to hair bleach, hair lightening. So we're going to go with this last section. So always, it's very important to have a professional to talk to. Go to the salon, you can get a consultation, and before you even start any process, that will tell you if you can move forward. They may do a strand test. You may even get a skin test, a patch test on your skin. You may be allergic to a product. So you always want to check with a professional. Certain instances, people should not color their hair or put any chemical on their hair. Medicine also plays a factor in the hair, determining what happens. Your hair product also plays a factor. Some things prevent color from taking to the hair more than other things, or it takes to the hair in a way that you did not expect. The hair is compromised. So always good to check with a professional. They will be able to help you the most. Never, if you're especially not sure what to do, never take matters into your own hands. Because hair, yes, we can color it many different colors, but sometimes the hair, after you've damaged it so much, there is no more help for it. And then you're really stuck with a problem. So let's weave this last section. Because I'm talking, I wasn't paying attention on weaving, sorry. Okay, there we go. So we have our last section. Again, we can read the newspaper through it. I do like to explain to people, even when I have clients and I do their hair, I like to explain the process and what I'm doing so they feel more at ease. They understand what's going on. They feel more comfortable. Not only that, but you make a friend. You have a conversation. I've met many nice people throughout the years. Many wonderful people. It's a wonderful job. And now that's why I'm carrying it into fitness and nutrition. Because not only should we look and feel good on the outside, we should also feel good on the inside. That's very important. If you don't feel good on the inside, and you don't have your health, then all the glamour and everything else means nothing. You need to feel good both ways. And that's what my goal is with Fast Fit Foods. I want you to feel good inside and out. Enjoy all the benefits of being healthy and looking good. Okay, and just lightly again fanning through the ends, making sure I get as close as I can with the feathering into the root area, because this is the crown and people will notice. Of course, people that are taller than you and they can look down on the top of your head. I'm just being silly, but people do notice your hair. Usually they say, and I believe this, it takes 7 seconds to make a first impression. And the first impression can be determined by the way we look, the way our body language is, smiling, friendliness, or they can get the wrong impression of you. And it only does take 7 seconds to make a first impression. And after that, usually statistics determine that it's usually irreversible. It's very hard to change someone's mind after they've already made an opinion of you. Let's hope that's not the norm, but that's what they say. So I have now applied all the color to my hair. this didn't take very long, maybe about 20 minutes. So not too bad for doing it yourself. We'll probably, now everyone's hair of course lightens differently. I did apply 40 volume developer. I do not add any extra heat, and you can see it's already starting to lighten. I do want it to get about 2 shades lighter than this. This is about a level 9 now my hair is at. So we're going to wait until it goes about a level 10 or 11. We'll see where we end up. A lot of people get scared when they lighten their hair. The first thing they do is say, oh my goodness, my hair turned orange. So as soon as I saw it turn orange, I rinsed it off immediately. But you have to realize that the color still had to work and process. The color wasn't done. Sometimes it does stop in the orange stage, but what happens then? If we can go on and apply more color, again, because if that color dries, it doesn't work any longer. So if we need to go back in and reapply again, then we reapply again, as long as the integrity of the hair is not compromised. We are not making our hair unhealthy. So occasionally you do want to open that foil and feel the hair and lightly just pull a little and make sure that the pieces aren't coming off. So we're going to take a little break. I'll let this process about 15 more minutes. You may need longer depending on the hair level that you start it with and what your desired level is that you're going to reach. So we'll check back in a little while and I'll show you the finished product. Thank you.